Welcome back to Liz and Liz Get Literary. My name is Liz.
And I am also Liz.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
I did not move. You did not move. You are looking at, if you are looking, our first episode in our new recording home.
We are so excited to announce that we have entered a sponsorship with Sunbound Books. So you are now looking at a Sunbound Books podcast.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy. When Liz...
Third.
Liz, yeah. When Liz Cubed opened up this bookstore, I had so many dreams of what our first local new bookstore was going to be like. But honestly, Liz and the team at Sunbound have just exceeded every expectation for our community. And we are so excited to not only run a book club for her, but do craft nights. And now we literally record our podcast in this bookstore. It is obviously stunning, if you can't tell, and we are just really excited.
And so thankful. I mean, it has been such an easy journey working with Liz and the Sunbound crew. They're all just spectacular. Sunbound is a woman-run bookstore, independent bookstore in our town, and she's really just taken the store to new heights, and we're so proud of her and just so excited to be on the journey with her as well. So thank you, Liz and Sunbound, again.
It's an honor. Once again, an honor being a Liz.
Yes, love being a Liz.
It feels good to be a Liz in this country.
In our city, all of the things.
Yeah. So be on the lookout, and very soon, future episodes, we will have some incentives for our listeners that shop with Sunbound.
We will, and we'll have it all listed at the end of every episode, and we're excited to start this journey. So
yay!
We have a very fun episode for you guys today. As most of you know, Ali Hazelwood came out with a new book, and we did an episode on Ali quite a few months ago, so you know we're always a fan. We actually get to meet her
1 week from today.
1 week from today.
Our time.
Yeah. So when you guys see this episode, we will be meeting her
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will probably, at this time you're listening, we could be drinking coffee, putting our makeup on, screaming into the void about how 3 of our 5 favorite authors will be in the same place at the same time.
Yes. We are meeting with B.K. Borison, Lila Sage, and Ali Hazelwood at another bookstore that we have partnered with and love, the Wild Geese Bookshop. It's not in our town, but we have our hearts there as well. We could not believe this signing was happening.
No.
I'm still in shock. I like all 3 of them. And originally they were not going to do signings, all 3. So that's a new development. So, but Ali came out recently, as of February 4th, with Deep End,
f.k.a. Whet.
Whet. And you guys listened as we found out about Whet's existence quite a few months ago this summer. And now we're going to talk about it because I think it's my favorite book of hers.
I have thoughts as to that. I want to say that as well, but there's just, all of her books are so great, and there's so much nuance into every situation that the main characters get into. So I just feel like I just don't know which one my favorite is, but I feel like we'll talk through it, just like Lukas talks through it. Oh my gosh.
I remember how excited we were when we found out it was Lukas and Scarlett, and their characters measured up to it 100%.
We were scared. I can remember recording. This is OG Liz and Liz Get Literary. We were recording this episode in your bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
And I just remember thinking, like, listening to you read the description, and I was like, Lukas and Scarlett is such a power couple name.
Yes.
Like, I don't know why I love those names together. Probably because One Tree Hill, like Lukas and Peyton, does give Lukas and Scarlett. So I just, like, automatically was in love. They both have wild last names.
Vandermeer for Scarlett, and I cannot pronounce Lukas's last name.
Blomqvist. That's what I'm going with.
That sounds great.
Yeah. I just have been saying Lukas B.
Yeah, Lukas B.
Lukas B and Scarlett Vandy. They call
Vandy. They call her
they
Vandy.
call her Vandy, which I do think is very cute.
So before we dive in,
What are you reading?
so
Hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm
okay,
gonna pop my beverage.
pop the top.
I need a crisp. What is this?
An Izzy.
I can't drink poppies anymore, so Izzy. Should we talk about that quickly?
You can't drink poppies?
Oh, I don't know if we're drinking poppy anymore. Did you see the controversy?
No. You know I have not.
So, well, you're really into controversy. Like, I
I
feel like you're usually into it, but we have so much going on right now in this country. Every 5 minutes, there's a new controversy or new news. So there's really no telling what's going on. But here's the tea, or here's the prebiotic soda, I should say. Poppy just randomly like decided to go on this new campaign. They had a commercial at the Super Bowl and I think new flavors. Leading up to the commercial at the Super Bowl, they dropped off $25,000 vending machines at like 30 influencers' homes.
oh.
So like not a hospital, not a women's shelter, not a school, I don't know.
Who got them? Like what influencers?
So do you know the guy who asks his wife what he wants for dinner every day?
No, but
She's like a fitness trainer, Chloe and Adam.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
They got one. Emily Kaiser got one. Alex Earl, Jake Shane. I mean, like Rachel Sullivan, Avery Woods.
Big names.
Like, yeah, huge influencers.
Okay.
And what's very interesting is they had to stock them themselves, the influencers, because one of the influencers, I forget which one, was like, come with me to stock my poppy vending machine.
Oh.
And then not only that, so you already kind of like missed the memo when you dropped it off at rich people's houses.
Cause yeah. Right.
And you already send them free poppy all the time. So like, why do they need that? But then on top of that, you made them stock their own vending machine. And then they're coming to get them today. So it was literally just like 2 days. $25,000 per vending machine just so you could pre-show your commercial during a football game.
I'm so confused with that marketing. I don't understand.
I think the gist is like now Poppy is going to be. I saw on the commercial that Poppies are going to be at restaurants, like at fast food restaurants, and I think they're going to have vending machines now. So I think that like was the marketing.
Got it.
Alani would never,
No.
and Dr Pepper would never. And what is this? Izzy would never, because I've never heard of Izzy, so I don't know if they would. But however, isn't that crazy?
I'm processing it in real time.
All of that for a prebiotic soda commercial.
It's a lot of work for
This is way better than Poppy. I don't know, sparkling pomegranate. It's not going to make me poop, but it is tasty. So that's my beverage of the pod, and it's not. I'm sad that it's not a poppy, but
you know, it makes me really happy because I don't know if I told you this. So I started a new routine in the mornings because as everyone knows, I am an IBS girly and I have
I'm not sure if everyone.
I don't know if everybody knew that. The vibes I bring to the function are Pepto.
Well, here's the thing. You know how there's like the Cookie Monster pajama girl?
Yeah.
You're not one of those. Thank God. But you know what you are?
No.
Like you're one of those like hot girls with tummy problems. Like you look at like I could look at you
Yeah.
and say like she be shitting.
You're not lying.
Like you're too hot. You're so powerful that I feel like you have to have tummy problems.
Girl, it is rough. And it's I think the worst part is I just never know when it's gonna happen. Like I feel like we'll be fine one day and then I'll be like, I was up all night.
That's true. Or I'm like, Liz, are you dead? She's like, no, I just didn't sleep last night. Nightmares? No poop.
Yeah, like I'm just was fighting for my life all night. So I've been really research because I refuse, and this is on me. I also refuse to go and get tested for like any kind of intolerance because I like cheese and I like bread and I like things.
And you're obviously not allergic.
No.
But you don't want to know if you should cut stuff out. And I wouldn't either, so that's no judgment.
And this is really something that has just kind of started in the past, like, I would say 3 years or so, this whole feeling. I, like, used to be indestructible, and now I'm not. So,
Don't tell me that, because
listen,
I don't want to go through that.
I'm coming up to my 33rd birthday, so my 33rd birthday will be Thursday after this episode airs, and I'm struggling. So I said, okay, let's try some new things. So one of the things is we follow Brady and Rosie, and I watch Rosie, and she drinks these greens every day. And they're Clean Simple Eats, which I do use their protein powder.
Yep, you do.
And
you have shared the wealth with me before.
Yes.
The flavors that you don't like are my favorite flavors. So
peach, yeah.
Every time you buy one, and I just know that I'm going to be getting the ones I like.
Yes. So they have greens. And so I bought the lemon kind just to try. And so I'm like on day 4. And so far I felt really good. Like I actually do have energy. They're supposed to help like with immunity. They're supposed to help with digestion. There's like you get your full serving of vegetables.
I saw that.
Yeah. And I'm like, vegetables are probably the hardest thing for me. So I was like, let's just try it.
Yeah.
So I'm on day 4.
And honestly, in both Brady and Rosie, we trust.
Yes.
Rosie will get us to drink our greens, and that's Rosie Piper, if you guys aren't familiar. And Brady will get me to buy anything that Elf.
Did you see her foundation?
Yeah, I know. Ali and I were talking about it today, how we both went out and bought the Halo Glow powder.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. And it looks good.
It looks great. Now I'm looking at you. Yeah. It does. I mean, you have flawless skin anyways, but I watched her and I'm like, oh, now I kind of want to try it.
So yeah, if Brady and Rosie buy it, wear it, sell it, schlep it, put it on their storefront, we're
gonna do it. Yeah. My kids are absolutely disgusted by the new green drink.
Well, they are swamp green.
They are. Yeah. But they do not taste green.
I haven't tried the Clean Simple Eats ones yet. I did a whole container of Bloom.
Oh, how was that?
When that was popular. It didn't do that much for me. Everyone that knows me is about to be so shocked right now that I'm about to discuss this. I'm a very regular girl.
Lucky.
I am very, very lucky. I hope that I don't turn into a hot girl with tummy problems. Just a hot girl who poops regularly.
Just a hot girl with the best digestive tract. I will put those vibes to you.
At the same time every day.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, which is how I've made it 17 years without my husband ever hearing me do a thing.
Whereas, like, my husband is actively watched me. Mask. Yeah, like, fight for my life. Listen. So you tried Bloom. Did it taste green?
I preferred it. I honestly preferred it to other things I've tried. I also, back in COVID times, got into drinking chlorophyll, and I do think that's what made me regular.
Oh, really?
I would do a teaspoon of liquid chlorophyll. You can get it at a only health stores. They don't sell it online or anything. Okay. If they do, it's not real.
Okay.
And you just put that in water and use a little electric thingy like you do for your greens and drink it, and it tastes like you're drinking dirt water, but it's like the actual chlorophyll, like from the atmosphere. And I think that's what made me regular.
Oh, well, I'll have to try that if this doesn't.
Yeah, but Rosie loves them.
I mean, they don't taste green to me. I got the lemon. I love lemon. So I was like, yes. And it's very lemony.
I love that. The lemon ginger liquid IV.
Yes.
Is the best.
I actually am obsessed with the strawberry lemonade liquid IV right now. I like
that one too.
Yeah, that one is really good. I've been doing that too. So I've also been adding liquid IVs to try to just stay hydrated to see if that helps too. But my kids, so I went to the gym and they always steal my water bottle after. And my daughter went to go take a drink.
You had greens in your water bottle?
No. Oh. But she goes, wait, is this that green stuff? And I was like,
she would.
No.
She would.
I was just working out.
Any kid would, but I can just hear her doing it.
Oh, yeah. And I should have said yes, because then she drank all of it. Actually, it was my liquid IV in there, and they love that stuff. So I'm like, whatever. But so that is my new thing. But that was a tangent.
We also do read.
We do read.
We're not just hydration girlies.
No.
Although I think it's really cute. Maybe we should start doing What Are We Drinking? Because I feel like every book podcast I listen to, I'll specifically shout out Bookmarked with Sarah and Destiny. They have you know how there's Dom of the Day?
Yeah.
They call it Dote.
Oh.
And it's like drink of the episode.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
And then merch that says dote. And it has like cute little like bows and coffee mugs and like sodas on it.
That's so cute. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have drink of the day.
Drink of
A
the day.
god.
So you're drinking your Izzy, which is sparkling pomegranate.
Yep, and a water.
And I have my water with my my strawberry lemonade liquid IV.
Perfect.
So, but what I'm currently reading, so this is going to be probably another little tangent.
We're circling back.
Circling back, because you guys know we cannot stay focused. And I am medicated today, so I don't know what's going on. But,
I think it's the excitement.
It is. I am so excited. The 60th book of the In Death series came out by J.D. Robb. I brought it with me today. Yes. Like, I have been reading this since high school. It has the number 60 on it.
That's actually so cute. Oh.
Yes, it is called Bonded in Death. And it has the list of all of the books on the back.
That's really pretty.
Yes.
It's like foil, for those of you who don't watch. First of all, you're missing out. Second of all, it's, like the title is foiled. It's really pretty. I love that.
I can't believe it's number 60.
I can. She's a powerhouse.
She is.
Roberts / J.D. Robb / whatever her name is.
I've talked about it before on the podcast. Basically, the premise of these books is it's set in like 2064 at this point in the series, and it's a female homicide lieutenant named Eve, and she solves murders. She's married to a morally gray Irish billionaire named Rourke, and he's so hot, and it's just
hot.
Yeah, there's a little bit of spice, but it doesn't overtake the plot, and the murders are all very unique. And this one in particular there was a war in her time, in this time, called the Urban Wars. And it takes place actually right now in the 2020s. And one of the characters was actually a spy during the war and helped stop the war a little bit, like part of what they did. And his old spy mates are being killed. And so she has to figure out.
That is intense.
Yeah, it's so, I'm like, can't wait to get back to it.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So I'm reading that currently. I finished James by Percival Everett today, and wow.
Yeah, we both read it so fast this weekend, basically.
I devoured it, truly. And Huckleberry Finn was not my favorite book, but I couldn't put James down. Mm-hmm. I did put a review on Goodreads and Fable if anybody wants to go read it. But so then I'm going to be starting a sports romance, a young adult sports romance.
Honestly, someone check on Liz. She's had a concussion. We do like a sports romance, but one thing about Liz is she doesn't gravitate towards a YA romance.
I don't have the patience.
And then you combine those together, it's just a little bit more unlike you than normal, but I'm here for it. What is it?
It's Kiss Me Now, Lie Later by C.W. Farnsworth.
I've heard great things.
So, yeah, she has a new adult, so I'm going to do that. If I like this one, I'll do that one next. So, we'll see.
Nice.
I don't even know. We'll just see.
The vibes.
Yeah. What are you reading? I really want to know because I actually don't know what you're reading right now.
First of all, I have been through some things. Because I have been in a very weird rhythm since probably October, where I'm finishing books and starting books at the exact same time. Usually I'll be like 80% into one and 10% in the other, but somehow a few months ago I just started reading equal amounts of my books, not on purpose, but so it's very bizarre because it feels like I'm reading them so fast, but I think the spacing is just different. I also finished James by Percival Everett. I finished it Sunday?
I think it was Saturday.
And it was so good. I have quite literally no notes. I think that should be the required school reading and not Huckleberry Finn. I am 10 pages away from finishing I Who Have Never Known Men.
Wait, tell me, what do you think? Is it life-changing?
Unclear if it's life-changing because I think it's about to do this big one.
Okay.
So I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
But it's very good.
Is it gonna... Okay, Handmaid's Tale scared me. No, okay.
Not on that level. It's not nearly as descriptive. I think that's on purpose. I think it's a little more vague more vague even than the Grace Year.
Oh, okay.
I think it really wants you to interpret what you think happened. We have all of the books, by the way, that we talk about in our description because I am not going to pretend like I know who wrote that book right now. But if you are interested, it is a short story. Yeah, it's 170 pages, so it is a short story. I read it all today. And it is just like a short think piece on dystopian female rage, my favorite genre. So it opens with a young girl that's like trapped in a bunch of cell like slash one big cell with a bunch of women, and no one knows where they are. They don't have anything. They like use the bathroom in front of each other. She's never seen the sky.
Oh man,
Like, and you don't
that's
really know how they
intense.
got there. You don't know what happened.
Do you learn it?
I haven't learned it yet, and I'm almost done.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that is on my list.
it's really good. You could bust it out on your lunch break.
Oh yeah, probably.
So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so I'm doing that as well. And I also just finished up The Enchanted Greenhouse today by Sarah Beth Durst, which is the sequel to The Spell Shop. It was just as cute as The Spell Shop. I loved it literally so much. So good. And additionally, today I started The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, which is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Super excited. And I think that covers it.
Where you're at?
Yeah. I'm gonna and I'm 300 pages into Assassin's Quest, which is the third book in the Farseer trilogy in the Realm of the Elderlings series. Wow.
That isn't. I cannot wait to start. I feel
my,
like such big FOMO missing out on that.
I can't wait for you to read it.
Oh,
Two of our friends are reading it right now at the same time as me, and our therapist friend is in the same book as me, like right at the same place as me.
nice.
So
That's fun.
yeah, it's been going. I'm reading it really slow. I was actually just telling your aunt the other day, random, but I was just telling your aunt the other day that it's a series that it really feels like every single word that Robin Hobb puts on the page is on purpose, and it has a meaning and it has a reason. And I have never come across books like that before. I've always felt that books are a little bit superfluous in the way that they go on.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's why you write a book, right? To tell a story around characters. This is really the first reading experience I've ever had where every single word is purposeful and beautiful, and there's just so much happening. It's so emotional and hard to read, and it's just really good. I can't wait for you to read them.
I can't wait either. I don't think I'm gonna obviously make it this month. But I think it's on my TBR, and we're not buying in March, so I think I'm gonna start it.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
So that's a really long-winded answer, but I'm reading a lot of books. So, and we both finished the Book of Doors this weekend by Gareth Brown.
No notes. Perfect. Anybody who does not give it,
At least 4.
I have questions. I do.
Yeah. Honestly, I have questions for the 4-star people because, well, okay, I won't. Reading is subjective, so I won't question I won't even question the 3.5-star people. I will question the people who straight up didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it had enough in there for the action people, enough in there for the mystery people, enough in there for the fantasy people. There was even enough in there for some will they won't they, like kinsmanship romance type vibes, companion.
It was sprinkled in
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
And at the end I felt really good about it.
I did too. I loved that book. Well, so now that you guys know what we're reading, let's dive into a book we finished very recently, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This book kind of kind of differentiates from her other books because it's not a STEM romance. There is some STEM in it.
And it was enough.
It was enough.
And honestly, I felt it was stemmier than Not in Love.
You're right. Not in Love was not STEMmy really at all.
Yeah.
But it primarily.
If you don't know what we're talking about, by the way, STEM meaning like science, technology, engineering, mechanics.
Stuff that I don't understand.
I literally work in STEM and I don't know what the M stands for in STEM. That's so embarrassing.
Microbiology? I don't know. Anyways.
Anywho, science people. It's basically she writes romance where it's called like the STEMstresses, like the princesses, like main characters are all scientists.
And Scarlett and Lukas both are, but it's not central to the plot. Like I feel like Love Theoretically, Love on the Brain,
right.
Love Hypothesis are. Instead, it focuses more on the sport that both of them do. So Scarlett is a diver, and Lukas is a swimmer. They're both amazing.
Yep, both
at their
top
sport.
of their games.
Yes, yes.
Well, both very talented in their respective sports. Scarlett is not at the top of her game because she had an injury on the first day of her NCAA tournament the year before. And that's where the book basically starts, is Scarlett is unable to do an inward dive anymore because that's the dive that she got like dramatically injured
It
on.
like ruptured her eardrum, tore her shoulder, concussed her. And she has like PTSD from
multiple surgeries. And we do learn that the PTSD really only like is made more dramatic by the injury, but I think the PTSD, in my opinion, is more so everything that was happening in her life. And then to not have pleased her coach and herself is what really gave her PTSD, I think.
Yeah, because she's a perfectionist. She likes to win. She likes to pass. She likes to do it all at the top of her game. Plan. Yeah, she is a type A for sure. And we learned through the book that at the time of her injury, her personal life was falling apart. She was having a hard time, I think, in college a little bit too, right?
I don't know if at the time of the injury she was, but in the beginning of the book she is.
She was. Yeah. And just a bunch of things that I think took from her concentration. Her ex-boyfriend was a shit.
For picking a fight with her the day of a huge tournament.
Breaking up with her.
Right.
Yeah, like that's wild. And then Lukas is from Sweden.
They call him Sweetie.
Yeah, so cute. He is very hot, very tall. He's actually dark-haired. I was picturing a blonde because Sweden, but like he's dark-haired.
I'm so glad he's not blonde.
Yeah, me too. And he is just perfect as all of Ali's men are.
I would like to discuss this though.
Go ahead.
Why was this man so hot?
Because he barely spoke.
I have never, ever, I don't know what kind of pheromone crack she had in Lukas, but he was making me feel like physically flushed, and not even just during the spicy parts, like the way he was just always behind her, the way he was like anticipating her needs, when he was stroking his fingers up and down her feet while they were in the lab with Josh at the table,
who was hitting on Scarlett during. It was so funny.
I said absolutely. I don't know what it was about this man. And then on top of that, without exposing my mother to more therapy than she could use for the rest of her life, I was into what he's into. And so I was like, I mean, maybe not at the extent of what he was into it, but like he was speaking my language.
Did you feel like Liz's mom, don't watch this, please.
Just go.
You
look great.
So did you feel that it needed a kink warning? A BDSM kink warning?
Let's dive in and let's circle back to that. The reason why you're asking that question, if you have been living under a rock, Deep End, Lukas and Scarlett. So the whole thing is, we find out at the beginning, Lukas is dating Penelope Ross, who's on the diving team with Scarlett. Penelope cries to Scarlett about how she doesn't like the sex with Lukas. She's not pleased at all sexually. She can't give him what he's looking for. He's not giving her what she's looking for. It's like a big thing. Because Lukas is into BDSM. He wants to dominate Penelope. And Penelope does not want to be dominated. She wants to be made love to. And I respect her for that. So then In finding all this out, Scarlett is trying to give her this really good advice, and it actually turns out that she tells Penelope, I'm into that too. Okay, period. So then Scarlett and Penelope are at a party. Lukas is there. Penelope gets blackout, basically, and says, you two should fuck.
I did laugh at that. Sorry,
Me
I mean,
too.
I didn't like that Penelope would tell their business like that.
Especially her business. I don't know
Especially her.
why I felt very.
I kind of felt like
It was wrong, obviously, to tell either of their business, but I felt really bad because it was. We know from being in her head that Scarlett has a hard time making friends, and she's just now feeling accepted.
and also she was telling her that in confidence. It wasn't so she could go and then try
And to
and
help
hook
her.
Yeah, and it wasn't so she could try and now hook me up with your boyfriend you're having sex problems with.
Which we find out later he has been attracted to Scarlett the whole time Scarlett's been at Stanford.
The hottest part for me for him was when he said, I propositioned for
Yes,
you. I said,
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that, and I agree. He said the reason why Penelope knew that I thought you were hot is because the only time I ever asked for a threesome, because we find out Penelope asked for a lot, and they had a lot. But
which is hot.
yeah, the only time that Lukas asked for a threesome, it was with Scarlett.
Yes, and I don't know.
I loved it.
The qualms that I and this might just be because we've read some very BDSM heavy books. And I did not feel yes, he was very dominant. He definitely ran the show. It was very hot, very, very hot. But it didn't, for me, it didn't cross any boundaries of like, okay, for instance, we've read In Silence and Submission by Gillian Eliza West.
That is like pedal to the metal, though. Like he has a playroom and everything.
Exactly. And there weren't even really any props brought into this one.
No, which obviously, I mean, full disclosure for people in the kink community, we just don't know. So if we're saying things that are wrong,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Please email us because, first of all, I salute you and I respect you, and sometimes I envy you, and also I just want to know more.
Yeah. And what we've learned is from books we've read with these scenes in them. Yeah. And so when I'm reading this warning, I am expecting maybe a mix of In Silence and Submission and 50 Shades of Grey type and stuff.
Expecting S&M by Rihanna.
One of my favorite songs, but I digress. Yes, yes, he was very much, but so I'm just going to compare it to In Silence and Submission because we know Jillian did a lot of homework on it. So like in that one, Draco pretty much knew where she was at all times, and
which it turns out Lukas does too.
Yeah.
And he does. And we find out he's been watching her.
Yes.
And he knew where she lived. She didn't have to tell him where he and he does here's the thing. The beginning of the book, she doesn't say like this is a dominant subs like situation. You're gonna be uncomfortable, like it's violent. There's this and this and this and this and this. She just says like it involves a BDSM relationship.
Yeah. And I thought for me, when I finished, this was one of my favorite books of her. Like, this is not shade. It was just like, it was kind of mild to me.
Did we need a content warning?
Yeah, did we need that?
Question. Yeah. Did we need that? I'm not sure if we needed that. I think maybe people that have tried to enter one of those relationships and it didn't work, or someone acting as if they were going to enter in that relationship and it was really an abusive situationship. I think also these days, in a totally good way, this is not a bad thing. You have to use content warnings now.
That's true.
Or you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Which I agree with. You should definitely tell the people what they're about to get into. If they're going to get into anything outside of the normal human experience, it could be jarring.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that the spicy scenes between the two of them were very healthy. Like, not saying they weren't going to be healthy, but I thought she did a very good job of writing a very healthy, communicative time.
But that's part of why I think some people like the dom-sub relationship.
Because there has to be communication.
And it's like sexy communication. Like, there are a lot of people on this planet who don't really talk during sex at all. Could not be me, first of all. like just kiss and do it. You know what I'm saying? Or don't kiss and just like do it. Like I feel like that is more normal than like talking through it.
Mm-hmm.
And not everyone is blessed to be talking through it, say. So I I think the orgasm denial, some people
Would consider that.
would consider that over the line.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
On my birthday, I would consider that over the line.
Okay,
Or
so
maybe
what
actually on my birthday, I would consider that perfectly. I don't know. I don't know.
okay. I have not personally
I was
experienced
about to
it,
say,
but it wasn't that I was shading her. I actually was kind of worried that she would get a lot of backlash in her
yeah.
reviews
I
because
haven't seen anything
you
being
haven't
mean
seen
yet.
anything.
Have you? Well, I saw some mean reviews, but I look for
You
mean
look for them, yeah.
reviews. I will go to the 1-star section of every book I've ever loved because I want to see where people are wrong.
So you have these two characters, and he is very clearly smitten, and she's really fighting it. But they don't talk every day to where you're like, girl, this is really unrealistic.
The time they went 15 days without seeing each other and talking, I was not well.
I'm almost a month sometimes.
I was like, oh my God, Alexa, play Possibility from New Moon.
But it felt authentic because they're both in a very intense sport. They're both in very intense, like he's pre-med, she's pre-med.
They're in really intense labs. He's team captain.
Yeah, so it was more realistic that they didn't talk because they're busy.
Yeah, well, and he knows he's in love.
Yeah.
And we also find out that he denies himself.
That did make me mad with her. I was irritated with her.
He denies himself anything that he brings him too much joy, basically.
Yeah.
And so he kind of shut her out a little, and then she wasn't sure if it was just a BDSM relationship or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's not trying to fight too hard because she doesn't want to embarrass herself, is how I felt.
And she also, when she finds out that it's him denying himself, she holds him accountable. She's like, that's not fair to me.
I love that conversation.
I loved it. It wasn't yelling, it wasn't screaming, it was two adults saying, okay, I see what you're doing and I understand, but that's not fair to me and I'm not going to subject myself to this. Loved it.
Yeah, and I also love that every time that there was a situation where she could have run away, where I was about to be so annoyed with Ali Hazelwood doing miscommunication and a this, that, and the other, he was just in her peephole at the door.
Yep.
Knock, knock.
Where she was like, he would tell her to wait and she would leave the party. And so then they wouldn't talk. And then he was like, he left.
Immediately showed up. My favorite, well, first of all, I hated the roommate. I thought she was we didn't need a roommate. We did not need that. That was the only part that I did not enjoy at all. And especially at Stanford and a student athlete and someone in a lab, they wouldn't have a roommate.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I liked her. I thought she was funny when she would call him random things.
My favorite is when she said the Love Island contestant.
I knew you were gonna love it. I laughed so hard.
I was not well.
Oh my God, yeah, shit.
And it was so good.
I enjoyed the roommate because it made me feel like Scarlett, who is this super serious, actually did have some. As much as she claimed they hated each other, they had fun being mean to each other.
Yeah.
So
I just felt like it took me out of the story every time.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
So
I, in particular, in terms of relationships with her, Penelope was the one I had a hard time with. I liked Penelope to an extent, which I think that's what Ali wanted. She was a very
she's nuanced.
Yes, I got very mad at her.
I did too.
When she storms in and says Scarlett's Vandy has stolen everything. When I'm like, girl, you have been banging a teacher. Calm down. But she then comes.
And you push them together.
Yeah, but I will say for Penelope, she does own up to it. Maybe not as soon as I think she should have,
and
but
I don't
she
think
did.
she owned up to it enough.
No.
In my opinion.
But I don't think Vandy made her own up to it enough.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I hope that my mother has left. I have been in a relationship where I and the other person were into different stuff sexually. And nobody wants to feel the way that Penelope felt.
Right.
And I do wish the second part as to why I didn't give it 5 stars, but I still am obsessed, is truly genuinely because Penelope not only deserved, but also didn't deserve to go deeper. Like she ended up being like the villain in the third act, and so I understand why we didn't have a bunch of backstory on her, because she wouldn't have been a good villain. We would have felt too bad for her.
Right.
But like putting yourself in Penelope's shoes, or me, like I've been in Penelope's shoes, you just feel like the most unsexy, unattractive, what's wrong with me, ugly person that you could possibly feel like. And it's not your fault. And it's not their fault.
It's just the incompatibility.
Yeah, you could love someone more than you could ever imagine, and like they could not finish during sex.
Well, and I think the other thing that Ali does through the book is it's very clear that the relationship that Lucas already has with Scarlett is completely different than the relationship he had with Penelope, who not only was his girlfriend for forever, but also his best friend.
Yeah, they were like trauma clinging to each other
Yes.
for basically their whole young adult life.
Right. And like she'll say things that he wasn't emotionally available or like this, that, and the other, and Scarlett's like, that's not what I'm experiencing. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. And so it was very clear to me, because I'm a romance reader, that they were meant to be together.
Of course.
And I really hoped, actually, so when Penelope was like kind of going through it, at one point I thought we were going to get a pregnancy trope from her, that she thought she was
I
pregnant.
additionally thought they were going to have a threesome.
I kind of wanted it.
I'm glad it did not happen.
I mean,
because that would, once again,
hit too close to home.
it does not fix anything.
No.
And a lot of times when a couple is sexually incompatible, it is because one person has a kink or just a fetish or a something, something in the bedroom that is not being met. And so oftentimes someone could be like, well, let's find someone that is. And then you have to watch two people that are supposed to be having sex have sex while you're like
Just
knitting
there.
on
Yeah.
in the corner.
Got it.
So I'm really glad that did not happen. I do feel like Penelope would have committed serious crimes if she would have had to see that bomb ass sex.
She also, place. I mean, when she finally saw them being them, had a breakdown. I mean, it was a combination of things, but I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back for sure.
Well, because Scarlett eventually, spoiler alert, gets over her fear of the inward dive, and she does an amazing, amazing dive to finish out her season. She qualifies for the Olympics. She takes gold. And Lukas had taken gold as well. He comes. The Alchemy by Taylor Swift is playing. Like, the Where's the Trophy is happening. And Penelope just has to watch him do to Scarlett what
she
never did.
Yeah, what she wanted from him.
Because they were not right for each other. So I'm not saying Lukas did anything wrong. But I think in that moment, Penelope was mourning everything she never had.
Well, because not only is it Lukas she's losing, but she lost to Scarlett technically as well.
Yes. And additionally, So Long London starts playing, and she is pissed off she gave Lukas all of her youth for free.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't a situation where either of them were wrong, they were trauma bonded, they were trying to make it work for so long. But her whole young adult, like her college, high school, all of that is gone. And you have to watch that person that it's gone with be happy and have the Alchemy playing while So Long London is playing for you.
And I also think that she did not think he truly was like gone. I think she always thought she could go back to him. We all have that relationship where we're like, if this doesn't work, we'll go back. We've all had it, you know, and I think that's what she thought Lukas was, and Lukas knew she thought that.
I think she thought he'll just get that weird, quote weird, I don't think it's weird, that weird shit out of his system and he'll come back.
Yeah, exactly. And Ali does a very good job. Like Penelope, we do not get this POV at all.
No. This is all us.
Yeah,
just
it is
coming up with this in our heads.
But it's also Ali's writing that we're able to witness, that Scarlett was intuitive enough to pick that up from Penelope in order for us to figure it out ourselves.
And that just feels like very authentic.
Yes.
And she does say at the end, I am sad that Ali did not let Penelope and Theo make it. That really didn't feel like it was necessary.
Yeah. I mean,
Penelope and Theo
maybe
could have
we'll
made
get a
it.
Penelope book.
I don't really want one.
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. I haven't hated any of the characters so far that Allie's written, so maybe Penelope will get a redemption book type deal. Not that she needs a redemption, but like, you know what I mean?
Bubbles are on the wrong pipe. Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, wow, perfect timing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think the book was near perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This was easily my favorite book in terms of spice.
For sure. I want to read it again. I do. I have to read
need
it
to
again.
go on Reddit and I need someone to tell me what chapters are spicy just so I could only read those.
Oh my God,
because like it was a level I was not prepared for.
No. And one of the things in Allie's book is consent, and the consent in this was so hot.
Well, consent is part of that community as well.
Yes, but I mean, just in every Allie book I've read, even with not in love, where it is clearly just a banging situation, like it was consensual, like it's a consent thing. It's a well, I could tell by her eyes. No, they speak it. You know.
Yeah, that's always hot to me too.
Yeah, I love it. So, if you haven't read it yet, if you haven't even read Allie yet, you're missing out. But you need, if you want to take a dive, I'm so annoying,
into the deep end,
into some sports romance, I would highly recommend this one. I love Allie. I'm going to recommend her no matter what. But I just really, really love Deep End. She really did her big thing here. This is by far my favorite book. I think it's literally going to be Deep End Love theoretically for me. And
she has something for everyone too.
Yeah.
Like Liz was just saying about Not in Love when they were just literally banging it out, like they were just having sex. That was a very casual sex book. If you don't like spice at all, she has Check and Mate. That's her YA book. It made me want to be on a chess team. I don't even know how to play chess.
And my cousin said that is one of her favorite Allie books, if not her favorite.
When I told Liz earlier, she asked me if Not in Love was my new favorite Allie book, and I said I wasn't sure because I like spice, obviously. So I was sad that book was YA, but writing-wise, she ate and left no crumbs with Checkmate. It is so beautiful. The character development in that book is really good. The way she wrote chess was crazy and exciting. I just loved it. She's got fantasy with Bride.
Love Bride.
Which also I heard her at an event last night say that she has a title for book 2. And it was her, the one that she was fighting for. So that's great.
So it won't be another Whet situation.
Yeah. It has a cover. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited.
So excited.
I cannot wait for that. Yeah, she just has books for everything. Oh, and what we didn't talk about, my favorite Ali Hazelwood characters came back.
Yeah, they did.
And they were back for the whole book.
Oh, we saw them multiple times.
It wasn't tons of dialogue, but we had multiple scenes with both of them. We had a scene with them together. I won't tell you which one. I will leave that spoiler free just because it's so cute. And they were in like the whole book.
Yes. So. I mean, and she did it where it didn't seem like it was obnoxious. Yeah. It felt very authentic.
It wasn't like, oh, who's that in the stands? Who is it?
Who is it?
Yeah, it was like just very organic and it was awesome. Yes. I loved it.
She did a really great job. Not in Love got some pretty not great reception. She redeemed herself with Deep End.
She did because I did not like Not in Love.
See, I liked it. Was it my favorite? No. I think right now I'm going Deep End, Love theoretically, Love hypothesis, Love on the brain. Because I have not read Check and Mate yet. So I need to read it. But and Not in Love isn't not my favorite, but it's, I mean, I did not like it.
Let's do our number ones again. For you, it's Deep End.
Deep End.
For me, it's Deep End, I think.
Okay.
Now that I've talked through all of this, listening to Lucas talk through all of his
voice in my head was Justin Baldoni. I'm going to say it. That voice.
I am screaming.
I'm sorry. I
am screaming.
I had to interject it.
That's so funny.
Okay. So no.
Number 2 for me, I think is Check and Mate, but it could be Bride.
Oh, Bride! I forgot about Bride. Mine is Love theoretically, just because every chapter is based off a Taylor Swift song, And I really loved those characters.
I really like Jack.
Yeah. And then I think number 3 is Bride for me.
For me, number 3 would be Love Hypothesis.
That's my number 4 for sure.
And then 4 would be Love Theoretically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not too far off,
Yeah.
but we're just here and there.
Love on the Brain is my least favorite for sure.
Yeah.
No. Not In Love is my least favorite. But before that would be Love on the Brain.
I guess Not in Love would be my least favorite, but I don't have the qualms. I mean, really, my favorite. Ellie's just my favorite.
Yeah.
I just will pick up the others,
Yeah.
you know. But I still liked Not in Love. It's just I liked the other ones a little bit.
I feel the same way. I still had a good time.
Yeah.
Like, I would still recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it was bad by any means. It's just that I have her on a pedestal with which Not in Love doesn't rise to.
Didn't hit.
So,
yeah.
But definitely check out Ali Hazelwood. We have another episode on her as well. It doesn't have this beautiful setup. The audio might be a little fuzzy, but we recorded that in Liz's bed. So,
you know, and it was one of our first episodes, and it's very near and dear to my heart. But we are so excited to meet Ali finally, and to see her and to see Lila and BK again tonight when you guys are listening to this, and just know we are thriving.
You can probably hear me screaming if you like just listen.
You can hear our like vibes, just like and the heat that just came on as well.
Thank gosh.
So with that being said, if you guys are not following us on social media, if you want to watch the meet and greet with us, we are on Instagram at Liz and Liz Get Literary. We are on TikTok at Liz and Liz 1213. We do have an email, lizandlizgetlit@gmail.com, and we're on Facebook at Liz and Liz Get Literary Facebook page. So if you guys want to follow along as we go to our meet and greet today, if you want to follow along as we read, follow us and shoot us a DM if you have any questions.
Additionally, I don't know when it's going to be up, but whenever you're listening to this, you should probably just search for Liz and Liz Get Literary on YouTube.
Yes, because that's going to be coming up here soon too. So
why not?
Yes. Just and also follow Sunbound. Her website should be live here in a couple of weeks. We will have a code for you, and we are so excited again for this partnership, this sponsorship. So have a great night, and we will see you soon.